I have posted an Instagram reel and TikTok every single day this year. One of the main reasons how I've been able to do that is because of scripting. I can't always think of something fresh off the bat. I have things to do, but with scripts, it makes it so much easier. Now, recently, I came across these 5 storytelling scripts because you may have a lot of great information. You may know exactly what you're doing. You have all the experience, but unless you share your content in a storytelling format, then a lot of people just won't have the patience for it. We as humans love stories. And so these are 5 storytelling scripts that you can put all your information into and it will captivate people. All right. So without further ado, let's get into it. And let's start with the first one. The first one is the one you probably are very well aware of. It's the 3-act format. You set it up, you get all the exposition out, a conflict, and then you go for the resolution. This is hyper satisfying for most people, okay? So let's give you an example of that. So if you aren't aware, aside from my automation agency, I also help other corporate people, because I come from a corporate background, do what I did, which is to negotiate for remote work. So you keep your job, you keep your salary, but you have location freedom. So here's a way that I can use that in the 3-act format. So first of all, this is about the one shift that let me work remotely from Hawaii. Setup. I used to be stuck in a corporate office in Washington, D.C., working long hours in a cubicle. I knew I wanted more freedom, but I thought remote work was only for freelancers or tech workers. All right, so we set up the scenario. Let's introduce the conflict. I tried job hopping, looking for remote roles, even hinting to my boss that I wanted flexibility, but nothing worked. I felt trapped. Now, the person listening to this, they feel the conflict and they might even resonate with it, okay? Now, part 3, the resolution. Then I realized the key. I didn't need a new job. I needed a strategy. I built my case, positioned myself as too valuable to lose, and negotiated my way out. First to Denver and then Hawaii. And now I help others do the same. If you're stuck in an office, trust me, there's a way out. And then you can CTA, do whatever you want. So that's the format right there. Another really interesting thing about these 5 storytelling scripts is that once you see these, you will not stop recognizing it in all the top creators. They all use these 5. So let's go for the second one, which is the pitch. So first, you highlight a pain point. Second, you give a solution to said pain point. And then 3, you CTA. Okay? So let's look at an example of that. The topic is stop waiting for a remote job. Negotiate the one you have. So let's introduce the pain point. Most corporate professionals think the only way to work remotely is by quitting their job and finding a new one, but that's a trap. Solution. Instead of job hopping, learn how to make yourself too valuable to lose and negotiate remote work on your terms. I've done this myself and helped over 140 others do the same. And then for the CTA, drop a lightning emoji in the comments if you want to stop waiting for a remote job and start creating one. I'm telling you guys, you've heard this format before, but it wasn't until I have it in writing right in front of me that I can see it, and it's so easy to follow. That's the main thing. You want leverage. You want things that are highly replicable, and scripting like this one makes it so easy. So let's go to the third example, ranking. So first, you want to introduce what you're ranking, what the list is. Second, you want to provide that ranked list. And then third, you want to make a conclusion of the whole video. So let's look at an example of the ranking format. So 3 steps to escape the office and work from anywhere. You've heard this a million times, right? So first, introduce it. If you're in a corporate job but dreaming of working remotely, here's the exact 3-step process that I use to negotiate my way out of the office. Step 1, foundation. Make yourself indispensable and remote ready. Step 2, the one-on-one escape plan. Pitch a trial remote period your boss can't say no to. And then step 3 is freedom optimization. Scale from a few remote days to a full-on nomad life. And now the third and final part is the conclusion. I use this method to go from an office in DC to working from Hawaii. Which step are you on? Drop it below. I hope you're seeing how efficient these are. All right, the fourth one is the open loop. So you're going to open a curiosity loop, you're going to explore the idea, and then you're going to close the loop. This is the one I did today, for instance, right? In this sweater. If you see this, this is one I did on February 12th, 2025. So the first one is why your boss keeps saying no to remote work and how to fix it. So you open the curiosity loop by saying, you asked your boss about remote work and they shut you down. Here's why that happened and how to make sure it never happens again. Now you're curious, right? So let's explore the idea. Most people make the mistake of asking for permission instead of presenting a solution. Your boss doesn't care if you want to work remotely. They care if it helps the company. So instead, show them how you'll stay productive, improve team communication, and actually make their job easier. So closure now. When I did this, my boss went from remote work isn't possible to, hey, let's test it out. And that's how I got to Hawaii. Try it and watch what happens. By the way, I'm going to provide all 5 of these in the show notes in a nice prompt that you can just throw into ChatGPT and it'll spit back out all 5 of these using your content. All right. So check out the show notes for that ChatGPT prompt. And the 5th and final one is the before and after. People love stories, but in particular, they love transformation stories. So the first part is we're going to give them the before, describe the before, then we're going to describe the bridge, and then we're going to describe the after. Okay. And it looks like this. So the topic is how I went from office worker to salaried nomad. The before would be, I used to be stuck in an office in DC, checking my PTO balance just to travel. I felt like I had no control over my time. The bridge is, then I stopped looking for a new job and started negotiating the one I had. I created a transition plan and made my boss want me to go remote. And then the after. Now I work from anywhere, Hawaii, Mexico, or wherever I want. And I've helped over 140 corporate professionals do the same. If you want to stop feeling stuck, start by making yourself too valuable to lose. All right, so that right there are the 5 storytelling scripts that you can use to filter all your content through. And again, I want to provide you with a ChatGPT prompt that you can use that will spit all your content ideas out through these 5 scripts. If you want that, check it out in the show notes. And again, if you found value in this show, value in this video, please share it with someone who could find value from it. And if not, please consider leaving a review. That's how we can grow the show. And that's how I can attract more awesome business owners as guests. Appreciate you. Thank you for letting me do work I find meaningful, and have a great rest of your week.